Just to mention, our next show here is going to be on Sunday the 2nd of August, which is the day of the Inter-County Championship semi-finals, and we'll also be looking back at the All-England, which is going to be played at the Northern Club on the 25th of July. Lynn now has got with her on the line here Nick Newey, who is just going to update us with what's been going on in the Summit Garage Premier League.
Good evening, Nick.
Hello, Lynn.
Well, we're up to the halfway point in the season this week. It's scary, isn't it? How quick it's gone.
Absolutely, yeah.
Goodness
Absolutely.
me. Gosh, yeah. Things are hotting up in all the divisions, I see.
They are, yes. We've got some pace setters now in all three divisions. So if we start at the bottom end with the Division 2, Baddesley at the moment are in pole position with 12 points, and they're closely followed by West Brom Labour on 11 points. There's teams down there that could break into that. I mean, I don't know Baddesley's green, but obviously they're sitting top of the table at the moment, so they've got to be obviously doing well on it. But there's still three teams on 8 points and Lee Hall on 9, so you know, there's any one of those teams could push into that top bracket there.
Yeah.
Jason Cook for West Brom Labour is the only player in that division who's got 8 wins out of 8 games, so that's well done to him at the moment. And he's closely followed by Richard Grant from Moor Lane, who's got 7 from 8. Ben Harris from Great Bar, who's got 7 from 8. And Lee Woodfield from Moor Lane, who's got 7 from 8 as well. So they're doing well in that division. And then if we look at the first division, the Dell, who I think probably would have been most people's tips to do well in that division this season, they're sitting high and mighty on 14 points. They're closely followed by the Windmill on 11. And with Boldmere on 9. Boldmere have already lost at home, but then won away from home to sort of get themselves just above the pack there.
Yeah.
I don't forecast anybody beating the Delta, but actually taking them out the top spot. That's my tip for that division. Second place, Windmill sitting there at the moment, but there's anyone from about 6 or 7 teams there could squeeze that place off Windmill if they don't keep their foot on the gas. We've got Ivan Smout at the moment. He's leading the average in that division for West Brom supporters with 7 wins from 8. And he's level on wins with Kevin Yates from Drakestrom, who's on 7 from 8. And then you've got Pete Withy in third place with 6 wins from 7 for the Dell. And then if you move into the Premier Division, there's only been 4 away wins in the Premier Division all season. So currently you've got a very tight group at the top there, with M&B sitting right at the top on 11 points with a plus of 89. They've got Nordley on 11 points with a plus of 59. The Greville are in third place with a plus of 58. And King George the Fifth are in fourth place with a plus of 18, and they're all on 11 points. So it's very, very tight there. You've got 3 teams on 8 points, and unfortunately at the bottom you've got the Georgian Meown Club Woodfield, who've lost 1 at home, who are on 6, and Moseley unfortunately lost 2 at home, who are sitting there on 4.
Yeah.
The leader in the average in the Premier Division is our good friend Ant Bracken, who won it last year. I know it sounds strange, I know he was on 7 from last week, but I haven't received the card from last week's Moseley game. So I don't know whether Ant Bracken is on 8 from 8 or 7 from 8 at the moment, but he's still winning them anyway. And he's closely followed by Scott Simpson at the moment from Nordley Libs, who's on 6 wins from 8. And then Gordon Hawkins, who's on 6 from 7. So very, very tight at the top in the Premier Division.
Yeah.
A lot of teams at the bottom, and they're going to be looking over their shoulder and seeing where they're likely to get points from, including my club, and it's all to play for. I think there's a lot of teams are looking at places where they can go and win away, but at the moment those away wins are a bit like gold. So
yeah, they're few and far between, aren't they? As predicted, really. You know, it's I think Moseley have got work to do, haven't they? I think that's fair to say.
Ultimately, they're unlikely. I mean, it's not unfair to say this, but I think they're unlikely to win outside of Warwick and Worcester. I mean, they're going to, the teams that they go to in Staffordshire and St George's, obviously, they're going to be tough places to pick points up.
Yeah.
So they've got to really look at where they can go in Warwick and Worcester and pick a win up.
That's right.
But everybody's after it now. I mean, the George are in the same position as Woodfield. The George need to get an away win in from somewhere. Woodfield need to get an away win in from somewhere.
Yeah.
And you play in the division yourself, Lynn, and at the end of the day, it's tough.
It is. You go away, and we've had a couple of matches this season, where we've gone and we've almost sort of had victory sort of chucked away from us, really.
Yeah.
It's so close. You know, and it is that team who can, you know, pick up an away win or a couple of away wins, and the team who, you know, struggles and perhaps loses, you know, two games at home, you know, is going to be the difference between champions and relegation. You know, it's that tight.
Exactly. You look at Emmonby and Nordley sitting at the top of the table there. Both of those two teams must think that they can win on each other's green.
That's
They've
right.
already done it once this season.
Yeah.
You know, they're both going to be looking at it and thinking they could win away at each other's green. So
Yeah.
where does that take it?
That's
really,
right.
really
I mean,
interesting.
just looking at my own club, Chadsmore, where we're sitting, I mean, you know, we're in a potential situation at the minute. You know, pick up an away win, you know, and we could win the league or look at second place, you know, and lose at home. And you know, we've got some tough games to come where that is a potential. And we could be looking at sort of thinking, blimey, you know, who's going down with Moseley potentially? You know, it's very, very tight. You know, very tight. But looking ahead to next year, Nick, it was discussed at the AGM about sort of capping the membership at 3 divisions of 10. And with 28 teams competing this year, it may sort of mean only 2 applicants are accepted. I mean, sort of, what would you say to any interested teams? You know, any listeners that's out there?
Well, I think, you know, go for it. I mean, apply, because at the end of the day, I mean, the standard, you've only got to ask the people who play in the league, the standard of the league, all 3 divisions, it's first class. Everybody who plays on a Monday night in this league enjoy their bowling. It's, you know, it really is like, you know, a good thing to be in. And I think, you know, get yourselves, you know, apply to join, because ultimately, you know, once those 2 places are filled, it's going to be very, very tight to see if we're ever going to do anything more. I think that the league looks to be set at 30 if we can get that 30, and I think there's 2 spaces there.
Yeah.
There's got to be 2 teams out there interested in this, and I think that, you know, go for it. That's what you've got to do, because
That's right.
It really is the way forward in Midlands bowls at the moment. It really is.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously for any teams that are listening, you know, and out there, the full sort of instructions on how to apply are on the website.
Yeah.
But applications need to be made into to Mel Evans, the league secretary, by 1st of October.
That's correct.
So yeah, sort of go for it. You know, it's a league that I think, you know, by now, you know, players who are playing in it really, really enjoy it. It's like playing county games week in, week out.
Exactly.
Probably harder in some respects, because you're playing quality players on their own green, you know.
Exactly, yeah.
It
doesn't seem to be easy games, you know, in that top division as well. And if you look at the Dell possibly coming up, and if you look at any one out of those next 4 teams in that division coming up, it's going to be a hard division again. So, you know, it doesn't get any easier. You know, you're not exactly getting rid of weak teams and replacing them with weaker teams.
No.
There's good teams in there.
No, that's right.
It's not going to get any easier whatsoever. And
Yeah.
the standard of the home greens, you look at some of the home greens, there's not really any easy home greens in there. So teams are all capable of getting big results on their own greens.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, one interesting comment just come up on the screen, and perhaps it's, you know, something that will be raised again at the AGM. Who knows? You know, Meal Brace sort of should have been allowed in. You know, and a couple of people sort of you know, nodding in agreement. You know, so but that's obviously something that you know, can be discussed if they choose to apply again.
Exactly. Hopefully it'll happen in time. I mean, it'd be nice to see. You know, we've got the 2 Shropshire teams in there at the moment. It would be nice to see another Shropshire team in there, and sort of like just open it up a little bit more. And they've got good facilities there. They've got a good team. They're doing well in the Shropshire League at the moment. So,
That's right.
You know, there's no reason why we couldn't look at Meal Brace to be one of the top clubs in Shrewsbury to sort of to get involved in the league. And,
That's right. Yeah.
You know, we'd welcome them, you know, willingly if they were to apply. So.
And with all due respect to obviously other teams, you know, we do want, obviously, you know, the best quality sides in the league, obviously, to keep the league at the standard of which, you know, we set out to achieve at the start, don't we, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We've got good quality teams in there at the moment. At the end of the day, you know, any teams that you know, see themselves as being the you know, the sharp end of Midlands bowls, then this is the place to be. So.
That's right. Yeah. And I think we're starting to see that with you know, some individual sort of results. I mean, you know, just to name, you know, one, Ant Aldridge is starting to obviously do well on the tournament circuit. You know, and that's, I'm sure, has you know, got something to do with obviously playing at a high standard, you know, week in, week out.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Okay, that was Nick Newey with his report on the Summit Garage League.